Hello everyone and welcome back to Tea Time Crochet. Today we're going to be working on this asymmetrical shawl. So it starts out small on this end and then gets large on this end, and it's fairly long. It's so long that I can't spread it out and be able to film the entire thing. So I hope that you're able to kind of get an idea of the shape. So it starts out with just a couple stitches here and then it increases to that whole width that's over there. But it's really simple. It just uses some basic stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and get the tutorial now. Okay, so for this shawl, we're going to start at this small end with 2 stitches, and it's slowly going to grow until it gets the length or the width that you want it to be. You can keep going until it's, as wide as you would like. So one end is super tiny and then it gradually gets bigger all the way to the other end. I just used 1 skein of a Red Heart Super Saver. It would have to be a solid color because the solid color skeins are bigger. If you get a variegated, you'll want to grab 2 skeins just to be careful. But this was just 1 skein of Red Heart Super Saver. And like I said, we start at this small end and it just gradually gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's basically the same 2 rows that you're just repeating over and over again. So I'm not going to make a full length shawl today. I've already done that with the pink one, so I'm just going to make a sample for you. So what I'm going to be using is just some Red Heart Super Saver. This was from a project that I frogged, so I can't tell you what the name of it is, but I'm pretty sure that Red Heart still sells this color. It's like their sky blue color, but like I said, I'm just making a sample, so I just chose something out of my stash. You're going to need a 6mm crochet hook, your yarn needle with a large eye, your scissors, and you're going to need a stitch marker. This is just one of the ones that I've made. And it's been a little while since I've come up with this pattern, so I may have to refer back to my notes, so just keep that in mind. If you see me pause and I don't edit it out, that's why. But it's really, really simple. So we're going to start off with a slip knot. And we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to slip stitch to join to that beginning stitch. If I can get my hands to work this morning. So we formed a ring. So we're going to chain 1. And as usual, we're going to forget that chain 1's even there, and we're going to put 2 double crochets into that ring. So that's 1 and 2. And then you can just pull that in tight and it'll close it right up. And this is where we're going to be placing our stitch marker. We just want to mark this side of our work so we know that this is the right side. So I'm just going to pop that stitch marker in there. So we're going to chain 1 and turn. And then we're going to put 1 double crochet into that beginning stitch. And 2 double crochets in the next stitch for an increase. So that's 1 and 2. So this row and the next row are the 2 rows that you're going to repeat. So for the next row, row 3, we're going to chain 1. And we're going to put 2 double crochets into that first stitch. And then we're going to decrease the next 2 stitches. And what that's going to do is that's going to give the shawl some shaping. So it kind of has that crescent shape at the bottom. But we're still increasing on the other side. So that's what your stitch marker is going to tell you. When you come to your stitch marker that's on this side of the work, you know that you have to decrease the last 2 stitches. That's just a little reminder, so you don't have to constantly be counting your rows and whatnot. You'll automatically know when you come to the stitch marker that's on the side of the work that you're working, you decrease the last 2 stitches. So we're just going to repeat those last 2 rows. So once again, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to put 1 double crochet into that beginning stitch, and then 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and then 2 double crochets in the next. So each row on this side we're increasing, and then on only the second or the third row we're decreasing. So if you think about it, every 2 rows it's the second row that you decrease on. So once again, that was a 1 double crochet in that beginning stitch, 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and 2 double crochets in the last stitch. So we're going to chain 1, and we're going to put 2 double crochets in that beginning stitch, and then 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and then we're going to decrease the last 2 stitches. So just like that. You can see how it's already starting to get bigger. It's a slow, it gets bigger gradually, so it's not such a, a drastic thing, and you have that the entire length of the shawl that slowly gets wider. So you're going to repeat those 2 rows over and over again until you get the length that you need. Okay, so you want to repeat that if you want a shawl pretty close to mine for 100 rows. Anywhere from 95 to 100 rows will probably be an appropriate size. You could go longer if you wanted. I probably would not go shorter than that because you wouldn't be able to wrap it around. But like I said, you're just going to repeat those 2 rows until you get the length that you need it to be. So one more time, I'm going to go ahead and go through those rows with you again. So we're basically going to call the 1 and 2. So row 1, you're going to chain 1, and you're going to put a double crochet into that beginning stitch, and then a double crochet in the next stitch, and 1 in the next stitch, and then 2 in the next. So that's row 1, and then you're going to chain 1 and turn. So for row 2, you're going to chain 1 and then put 2 double crochets into the beginning stitch. And this is the one that has our stitch marker on it, so we know that we're going to increase at the beginning and then decrease at the end. Whoops. So that's my last 2 stitches, so I'm just going to go ahead and decrease those. So you're just going to repeat that until you have 95 to 100 rows. Really super simple, and it's going to kind of get this crescent shape to it, so it'll lay really nice around the neck. But other than that, it's really simple. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.